there you go. It's recording.
Okay, recording. Yeah, we're doing Arcee, everyone, over on Fable's channel. I know you can't see me bob and weave, but eventually Fable will get his own model.
Yee, hello everyone. It's me, the Fables, your new best friend. Uh, I like Transformers. I'm not like the biggest into it, mostly because I don't remember much about it. There's a couple characters I love. Grimlock is one of them. We're gonna be learning about RC today. She's adorable, and I love her. Unlike what they, except kind of there's another female Transformer of no Alita 1, but depending on who's the writer and the continuity, she's either one of the best characters or probably the poorly written, sadly. Because, for some reason, comic books can't have strong, powerful women, guys. It's kind of sad. Anyway.
Yeah, listen, like I said, I like strong women once in a while.
Yeah, no, I'm not like, I want to see more characters, no matter what gender they are, come into their own and be
It,
very popular. It's just for some
the
reason,
problem,
Alita 1 is turned into just, I don't know, just the worst
well,
character
they
ever.
barely ever use it. They barely ever use her, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's be completely honest there. The kind of role that she gets usually is filled up by Arcee.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to head into this and see what the heck is going on with Arcee. Arcee Cola?
This week, Patreon supporter Ender Pigman9 has sponsored an episode that a lot of you have been waiting for. These are the
Arcee.
basics on the most famous female Autobot there is.
She really is, honestly.
Eee.
The character of Arcee was created for 1986.
Oh, she's from the movie originally.
But much of her history is tied up in the larger story of how
Right.
the Transformers franchise has handled the concept of female Transformers in general over the years. Before Arcee, Hasbro hadn't included any female Transformer characters in the franchise, believing that their primary audience of young boys wouldn't want toys of girls.
I mean,
In early
that's wrong, but
1995,
yeah.
the movie's scriptwriter Ron Friedman successfully argued for the addition of a female Autobot.
He killed
Depends
Optimus
as-
Prime.
Oh yeah, that's his book. Called I Killed Optimus Prime. It's apparently very wacky, and there's a part where he talks about he just has a weird in-character conversation with Optimus Prime himself.
Oh yeah. Also, guys, if you never so here's this funny thing. Apparently, if anyone doesn't know about this, the Gen 1 Transformers movie, it's notorious for being probably one of the it's a really great movie with an amazing soundtrack. The only problem is Hasbro and the movie developers decided to kill off a bunch of characters, so imagine going from the cartoon where nobody dies to just seeing your favorite characters getting murked. It was those poor children expecting a good movie just to see their favorite characters die is probably like the worst thing ever. Like
Yeah.
legitimately. Who
This is
said this
why,
was okay?
funny enough, this is why in the later G.I. Joe movie they changed to have characters not die because there was such a big backlash during Transformers. They got so many letters from upset kids and parents.
I mean, I don't blame the kids because, like I said, the Gen 1 was very goofy, very silly. Sometimes if the character had to retire, they would have it make sense, just like not Hot Rod, but I forgot his name off the top of my head. But going from that to literally seeing the Transformers, like the Autobots being killed, is just like it's whiplash. It is horrible whiplash, guys. Those
Yeah,
poor kids are not expecting it.
yeah.
Oh goodness.
It's yeah, they didn't expect it, they didn't want it, because you killed Space Dad for them, which
I
was
know.
Optimus Prime.
How dare they kill
Also,
Space Dad?
and yeah, this is I also insist on bringing in a female Autobot, Arcee, and they were absolutely resistant to her. I said that I had a daughter who loved this stuff, and there are other girls that like it. That's actually a good argument, honestly.
Yeah.
Film on the basis that his own daughter was a fan. A character design was created for Arcee
Oh,
by
this
artist
is very early.
complete with robotic hair buns based on Star Wars Princess Leia.
I
and
can
a
see that.
futuristic sports
Yeah.
car alternate mode. And a toy prototype was developed based on it.
It looks
But
so
in the end,
foamy.
Hasbro's reluctance won out, and the figure didn't go into production.
Damn.
Arcee, the only new Autobot introduced in the movie without a toy. Still, her inclusion in the film at all was a victory, and off the back
Definitely.
of her creation, other female Autobots were added into the animated series before the film hit theaters.
Oh yeah, Lita 1.
Characterized as a kind and quick-witted Autobot warrior whose skill and ferocity were often underestimated by the Decepticons due to her gender, Arcee was introduced.
You rarely ever see a
as
female
both a
Decepticon.
motherly protector
Oh, yeah.
to young human Daniel Witwicky and a romantic foil for fellow Autobot Hot Rod.
Stay close to me, Daniel! And you better stay close to me!
They both get into trouble with the kid.
No, you'd better stay close to me.
They're even doing the Princess Leia stuff.
Continued to appear in the third season of the Transformers cartoon, but the show changed things.
No,
up
I've
and
got
put
you.
her in a relationship with Springer.
Oh,
Notable adventures for Arcee in the series included joining Springer to hunt down the alien mercenary the Skuxoid,
the
having her
Skuxoid.
mind transplanted
That's
into a
such an
synthetic
80s and
human body,
90s name.
and in the
I
series
love
Like
it.
finale,
Skunkor.
Rebirth, saving a fatally injured Daniel's life by binary bonding with him.
Oh, to become a headmaster.
With Daniel now transforming into her head. Artwork exists of a proposed Headmaster Arcee toy, but
Oh.
like the original figure, it was
Damn.
also never released.
Aw.
Now, the Rebirth wasn't aired in Japan. Instead, an entirely different sequel series was produced for the Japanese market, Transformers The Headmasters, in which Arcee appeared regularly. She didn't undergo the Headmaster upgrade in this
I
series.
see.
In
Why
fact,
is he a
rather
cowboy?
than the warrior seen in the American
He just wanted to be a
cartoon, this show
cowboy.
depicted her as little more than the Autobots' administrative assistant. She
Oh.
served as a nanny for Daniel and the young Autobot Wheelie. Plus,
That's-
she gained a new romantic admirer in Chrome Dome.
Well then,
Chrome
Arcee
Dome.
didn't appear in the
Yeah.
Marvel comic public.
it's a thing from what I know. The Headmaster show is very silly and not very good. They gave you know that kid Daniel that they were helping. They made him sound less like he's in his teens and more like he's a 4-year-old.
Oh, damn. That is, wow.
Yeah.
Published in the United States. But this left her open to star in the exclusive additional stories written for the United Kingdom's version of the series. Soon after Arcee made her debut in the UK comic, however, the American series ran a story which stated that in the comic's continuity,
What?
the Transformer race didn't have a concept of gender.
Oh,
This prompted
that's
British writer Simon Furman to
Wow.
pen a story for the UK series justifying the explicitly female Arcee's existence.
Then we have to explain
The result
different
was a
stuff
pretty
now.
cringe-worthy issue revealing that the Autobots had built Arcee to appease the demands of a mob of straw feminists complaining about the lack of
Oh,
female
That's
Transformers.
kind of stupid, actually.
Even though
Yeah. Here's the thing, you can make good ladies in anything, long as you make them well, like with any character.
I think I remember hearing that one, and depending on the continuity, I think Arcee or Alita was kind of considered one of the first Transformers. Like, so technically they were male to
Oh.
female. I don't know.
Mm,
Transformers lore is weird. I'm gonna be completely
I-
honest.
I think that was a different one called Chromia. I think that's what Met told me about, but I don't remember. There's
I
also a video on her, so we'll probably head into that eventually.
I don't
she
know.
liked the
Like I
toy,
said, I know
Arcee's
very
role as
little
the
about
most
Transformers.
prom-
Just that I
female
kind of got
Transformer
started
in the
on
original
Armada.
series made her a memorable and
Wait,
popular
yeah,
character.
so did I.
In later years, non-transforming merchandise of her, like model kits and figurines,
Oh,
would
model
eventually
kits.
be produced. Meanwhile, her voice actress, Susan Blue,
Oh, she
continued
did a
to work
lot.
on the
She was in
Transformers
Beast
franchise for
Wars.
over 2 decades.
Yeah.
As the
Beast
director
Machine.
of various new animated
Prime.
series, including Beast Wars, which in 1998 revealed a surprising connection between Arcee and the Maximal Rat Trap.
What in the name of my great Aunt Arcee is going on here?
His
Oh.
great ass.
Still, the lack of a
Oh my god, that's so goofy.
That is pretty goofy, actually.
true transforming RC toy was keenly felt by fans, and calls for one to be made were common at official convention BotCon every
Makes sense.
year. leading to the convention itself meeting the demand
Oh.
by releasing the first official Arcee toy in 2001. A recolor of Beast Wars Transmetal 2 Black Arachnia.
Well, Black
figure
Arachnia was
transformed
also a
into
female
biomechanical
transformer.
spider and represented a future version of Arcee who had cut herself off from the world after the death of Daniel. Now, obviously,
Oh.
this figure didn't exactly fulfill fans' desire for a toy based on Arcee's original design.
Yeah.
It really
For that,
did.
they would still have to wait for many years.
Damn,
But
I didn't
that
realize how
didn't
long
mean
she
that
didn't have a
Arcee
toy.
went ignored during that time. You see, one side effect of being the most famous female transformer is that for much of her history, Arcee has been primarily defined by her gender. For the first decade of the 21st
That makes
century,
sense.
she served as the default go-to character used by new Transformers series for female representation, beginning with 2004's Transformers Energon.
Oh, recolor.
Energon Arcee was one of the Omnicons, a race of Transformers with the power to manipulate Energon, and she transformed into a motorcycle, which would become the standard alternate mode for the character for much of the next decade. As seen in the Energon cartoon,
Oh, she was
Arcee
actually in
created
here.
when a lone Omnicon was
I remember
motivated by
her.
the power of Energon into
Huh.
a leader and idol that the rest
The
of
animation was
race could
not
rally
great
on.
here.
Later pieces of Japanese media saw Energon Arcee join
She
the
looks like a little
interdimensional
Lego.
Vtubers known as the Protectors,
Yeah.
and
It's
upgraded
adorable.
into several new bodies, including a synthetic human form.
What was the first
Arcee
Arcee
was
toy?
considered for inclusion in the first live-action Transformers movie in 2007, but was dropped because the writers, like Simon Furman before them, believed that they would have to justify the existence of a female robot. Regardless, a figure of this Arcee was
I don't
released
know.
in the movie toy line, and she
Yeah, I
appeared
know,
in
Phil.
tie-in comic books as the leader of a group of Autobots attempting to thwart Starscream's plans to create a replica of the life-giving Allspark.
Oh.
Arcee would be featured
Oh,
in the
yeah.
2009 sequel Revenge of the Fallen, in which she appeared as a tripartite robot, one mind
Tripart-
controlling 3
Oh.
bodies. No explanation for
Okay,
her gender
literally,
was deemed necessary,
freaking,
but comic books did explain her.
Michael Bay's version of Transformers was probably one of the worst ones we've ever gotten in a long ass time.
In terms of designs, yes, they were not good looking.
No, they
He
weren't.
just he liked to make them have gribbly bits and try to make them look so realistic. And I'm like, it's transforming robots into cars. They don't need to look realistic.
They
Her
really
changed in
don't.
form, revealing that she had been the victim of Decepticon experimentation, which had fused her and her sisters, Chromia and Elita 1, into a single being.
Oh, that sounds horrifying.
2008 marked Arcee's introduction into IDW Publishing's Transformers comic
Oh,
books, a very
she looks
different,
like she has blood all
violent
over her.
incarnation of the character,
She
hailed
does.
from Cybertron's distant past, twin sibling of the barbarian Galvatron.
Oh,
The IDW universe was developed by Simon Furman, and initially followed the same rules as the Marvel comic, depicting
is-
Arcee as the only female Transformer who was specially
Huh.
created under unique circumstances. Except here, she was a victim of the mad scientist G-Axis,
Oh.
essentially subjected a Transformer to a forced sex reassignment.
Oh.
Experiment into
Oh, boy.
introducing gender to the
That's more ewy than I thought we were going to get into.
Yeah, that's one of those things where a writer had an idea, but they instead of telling them no, maybe it's best to change your idea, they still went along with it, which is bad.
Especially nowadays, this is a very sensitive topic.
Oh yeah, it really is.
Or-
Cybertronian race. In later years, however, the need to introduce new female characters into the universe saw new writers, who didn't share Furman's hang-ups around the concept of Transformer gender,
Yeah.
reveal that female Transformers did exist naturally in the comics universe, and rewrote
That's
Arcee
fine.
to be an authentically transgender Cybertronian,
Oh.
forged male, who had willingly allowed G-Axis to experiment on her in hopes
Oh.
of becoming her true self.
Huh.
Left unstable by
interesting.
G-Axis's careless ministration,
Oh,
she became a
she's now even insane.
famed and feared for her murderous rampages.
I
After helping the Autobots
I
fight the
hate
Menace,
that because RC should not be a murderous a murderous bot. She should just be herself trying to do what she thinks is best, not psychopathic and murderous. Is that so hard to ask for nowadays? Probably.
Apparently from these guys, yeah, probably.
Oh my lord.
Maybe nowadays it's not as hard. All I know is in Skybound, apparently Starscream is insane.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I've been told.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Cybertron is so
She
bad
worked
that
as a secret peacekeeping enforcer for Prowl, then served as a key member of Optimus Prime's Autobot unit on Earth, becoming
Oh.
one of the most significant characters in the later years of IDW's comics. Her past made it difficult for Arcee to form relationships with others, with the few bots she did manage to befriend meeting tragic fates in battle.
Damn.
Till at last she was able to find the peace and contentment she had so long been searching for in the arms of the idealistic Aileron.
Oh, who?
Also in 2008, Susan
I don't know who
Blue
that is.
returned to
I have
voice
no idea what that
Arcee
is.
for the Transformers animated cartoon, with a toy of the character following a few years later in 2010, armed with twin energy swords
Cool.
inspired by the IDW character.
Not bad design here.
Animated Arcee was a former teacher turned
Aw.
intelligence agent who was left
Oh.
amnesiac after she had medic Ratchet wipe her mind in order to prevent the Decepticons acquiring the access code she was carrying for Autobot's superweapon Omega Supreme.
Oh,
The Decepticons later abducted her to try and pull the codes from her damaged mind, but she was
she
rescued
couldn't.
and had her memories restored by Ratchet and Sari Sumdak.
oh, nice.
One of Arcee's biggest modern roles came
Oh,
in
she's blue this time.
2010's Transformers
Oh, no.
Prime, in which she was a main cast
Right.
member. Tough,
She's blue now.
fast, sharp-witted, and sharp-tongued, with formidable hand-to-hand combat skills. Long ago traumatized by the death of her partner Tailgate at the hands of the Decepticon Arachnid, this Arcee ran solo for many years, refusing to allow anyone else into her life, until she met the cocky Cliffjumper, with whom she
Cliffjumper looks so
escaped
different.
Decepticon captivity and
Cliffjumper.
came to Earth. Sadly, Cliffjumper would later be killed by Starscream.
Oh.
Of course he would. He gets
Fallen
screwed
back
over
into
so
her
many
old ways,
times.
Had Optimus Prime not charged her with protecting human Jack Darby. The series would follow Arcee's adventures as she and Jack learned to work together as
Nice.
partners and friends, and saw her finally lay her demons to rest when she got the chance to settle the score with Arachnid. 2014 was a turning point for Arcee. As part of the franchise's 30th anniversary celebration, a brand new toy based on the
Nice.
original Generation 1 design was at last released in
That's
the
cool.
Transformers
It only
Generations
took 30 years.
This year also marked the beginning
Yeah,
of
it's
a
kinda
push
crazy.
to add new, more prominent female Transformers to the brand.
Yeah, there's
In
quite
the
a few
years
now,
since,
from what I
with
remember.
more girls around, Arcee has no longer had to function as the default female character for new series. These days, the female face of Transformers is usually Windblade. while
Can I
Arcee
just say
continues to
something before we
feature
get out? I don't like Windblade's design at all.
It's very
I feel like her head sculpt is trying too hard.
yeah,
Other
no.
than that, she's okay. But
in new
her design
toys
is just
media,
too
now
try-hard
is
for
just
me,
a regular
with that
cast
head
member,
sculpt.
with appearances including a Headmaster Arcee figure in the Titans
It just
Return
feels
storyline
so
in
overly designed to
2017,
me, while everyone else is a bit
headphones
more
by the Titan
simple,
Master
if you get my meaning.
Dryad,
Yeah, I
that's
do.
Daniel spelled backwards.
Hmm.
A cameo in the Bumblebee movie.
Oh yeah!
Transformers Cyberverse, in which she's characterized
Oh.
as an adventurer who loves taking selfies and firing huge guns.
Well then.
And
Okay, that
IDW's
version is kinda
new
cute too,
rebooted
not gonna
comic book
lie.
universe, in which she
Yeah, I
serves
can
as
see it.
mentor to
I don't like the
newly
toys for
forged
Cyberverse,
Transformer
though.
Gage,
Yeah,
alongside
no,
her
it's
partner
okay.
Greenlight. Even more new figures based on Arcee's
Oh.
original design are also on their way in
That's-
2020 as part of both the War for Cybertron Earthrise.
What?
That's
and
actually really
Transformers
good because,
Masterpiece toy line.
like when she first was
Proving just how
introduced, she
much
wasn't
things
given
have
a
changed
toy,
since
and
the
now
days
she's getting
when it
multiple
felt like
different
getting
toys
even
and
one
different
toy of
time
Arcee was a
phase.
fan's
Which is
immense
great.
Yeah, these ones have
dream.
been released.
I know, but still,
And
it's
those
still
are the
cool
basics.
that they're finally at least giving her
On
more,
Arcee.
more
Thanks to Epic
toys.
Man for sponsoring this
Because in the
episode.
beginning they didn't want to.
Yeah, I can see
Stupid.
your point. Anyway. Well, that's all we can learn about from Arcee. She seems quite interesting enough. I didn't expect to learn as much as I did about that, but being one of the most popular female Transformers can kind of do that. having a long history.
Yes, and all I'm saying is this: Arcee is an adorable character who should just be allowed to, excel in her own right. If you want a more warrior, badass lady, Alita 1, like I said, if they actually have character, if the freaking writers don't assassinate her character and make her one of the most disliked characters in existence. Jesus Christ. So dumb. That is so
I can tell
dumb.
he's upset about that.
I love characters that with a lot of. I love characters when they have so much passion and ability to be amazing, but then when writers just start, destroying them and making them go against what they're stand for, it's just so stupid to me.
Yeah,
I don't know. Who am I? What do I know? I'm just a crazy furry man on the.
we're just a dude. I'm just a wolf. A dire wolf, indeed. Anyway,
Tries. Alrighty, everyone. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and give me all your worldly possessions. For some reason. No, seriously though, guys, if you want me to learn more about Transformers, let me know. I love learning about stuff. Mostly if it's giant robots or dragons. I love dragons. Dragons are fun. Goodbye, everybody.